Action continues to pour in this afternoon following that disruption of the rally in Rustenburg. The SACP's Dr. Alex Mashilo joins me now. Dr. Mashilo, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time on this Workers' Day. Happy Workers' Day indeed, but I guess those who work at Stillwater mines will say there's nothing to be happy about as they are still underpaid. What's your reaction first? Let's begin there about what happened yesterday at that rally that was disrupted by workers of Sibanye Stillwater, and they prevented the president of the ANC from addressing them.
Yes, I suggest we take an approach that focuses on substance. And what is the substance? Firstly, at Sibanye Stillwater, there are people who are happy, like the oligarchs. And one of them is the CEO who is running the company to maximize profit so that he alone can be paid 300 million rand in 1 year. That is in 2021, as the company's annual financial report shows. Now, you have one man, and literally one man only, paid 300 million rand in 1 year. And the spokesperson of the company says that it can only afford for the workers who are paid peanuts an 850 rand increase. Those workers are earning peanuts. And I can tell you, none of them will ever be paid 300 million rand like Neil Frohlman was paid that money last year. So the workers are confronting, they are not talking about inequality in speeches. They are confronting inequality at the point of production, which is where production income is being distributed. And the SACP fully supports the workers. That is the question of substance. And the president of the ANC, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa, did very well yesterday when he went to address those workers. And it was after he talked to those workers that he established agreement with him, which is why they would then allow him to address the rally. And he did very well to say that he will process that matter in consultation with the Minister of Mineral Resources. That's what a leader should do. But what led to the eventuality that we saw was a long-standing public wage dispute. You will recall that in 2018, the government entered into a collective bargaining agreement in the Public Sector Coordinating Collective Bargaining Council, after which the government reneged from implementing wage increases for the third year. If you look at that matter, like departments like the National Treasury have done, you will only see bureaucratic processes. You will not see the wider political ramifications that are associated with how the government handled that matter. Remember, it is not the workers who did not follow their protocol in signing the agreement. It is, by admission, the government that did not follow its own internal steps. It is unfair to blame that on the workers, which is why, as the SACP, we pledged solidarity with the public sector workers when the government reneged on the agreement it had entered into with their representatives.
Dr. Mashilo, you've explained very well the substance, what you call the substance, but I want to go back to the aesthetics. The way it looks from far, do you think the workers could have handled their dissatisfaction yesterday on a day that is set to mark May Day, International Workers' Day? The president of the ANC supposed to address them. That's an ally of COSATU and your ally as a SACP. Do you think they were justified in doing what they did? We get the substance, and thank you for explaining it, but the way it looked unruly, as SATU, an affiliate of COSATU, has said in a statement that they believe that was an undignified way of handling this matter. What do you think?
Let us look at the origins of the day of yesterday, May Day. It happened in the United States of America, where the workers came out in a strike in support of their demands for workers' rights. One of those demands was the 8-hour working day. And with all fairness, this was the day of the workers. And we agree with the ANC when it said there are platforms through which the issues can be processed. However, it would be wrong in our view, and we agree with the ANC, to condemn the workers. We need to appreciate that this was a culmination. It was not an event.
So you don't think the behavior was unruly, therefore?
Look, that's why we prefer to elevate substance to the highest level of priority. So because if we shift our attention away from substance, we will not address what caused the workers to do what they did. We saw it in the 2021 local government elections, where regions with the highest concentration of the working class stayed away from voting, and the ANC did not win elections. That's one of the ramifications. These workers do not sit in meetings. They express themselves at their own platforms, such as the rallies. We wish to say we ourselves hoped that the expression of their freedom, which they did, could have been done better. But there is no way we can condemn them. We will raise this matter within the alliance and discuss it with our alliance partners, making sure that what happened is not elevated above substance while it has to be addressed going forward.
That tells me you're not satisfied that it had to happen the way it did. That's why you want to raise it as the alliance, to make sure that maybe in the future
in other words,
processes... Sorry, sir?
The point is, the workers embarked or engaged in a protest action. So the message is loud and clear, and that message cannot be ignored. It will have to be discussed. And it is that message focusing on substance that we will discuss in the alliance.
So unlike,
of course, we believe that
unlike SACP,
by addressing...
Sorry, Dr. Mashilo, we don't have much time. Unlike SACP, you're not prepared to condemn the behavior as unruly. I'm using their words, I'm looking at their statement, as undignified. They've said they're strongly condemning. I'm going to be speaking to SACP next. They're one of the big affiliates of COSATU, your ally. So you are not prepared to condemn the behavior. You understand the substance where it's coming from, but you want to have discussions about how to approach these kind of things going forward. Am I correct? Am I understanding you correctly?
You summarized our position very well. Remember that SACP is a COSATU affiliate, so it is in a different structural position altogether. So we come in support of the movement. So they have a right to adopt the stance that they have adopted because they are an affiliate of COSATU, of which the SACP is not but an ally.
Okay. What would you wish to see? Let's just go back to the issue at hand here. You've referred to the fact that the CEO earned 300 million rand in 2021. The workers are only asking for an extra 1,000 rand a month. The gap is huge. The inequality gap is there for everybody to see. Management is still insisting on 850 rand. The workers yesterday pleading with the president, or the president rather offering to intervene on their behalf. What would you like to see as the SACP in this matter of the Sibanye Stillwater wage dispute?
Remember, there is one way in which the management is handling this. They want to suppress workers' revenue and increase their own revenue. That is unfair. And the payment of 300 million rand to frontmen, just one man alone, is evidence to that. I can tell you, if they succeed to suppress wages 1 year down the line during this time, when their annual report goes out, and mining revenue went up, this same management would have paid themselves millions in rent, and they will not be telling the public the relationship of this 300 million to the consumer price inflation they are talking about. In other words, they are saying to the people that it is right for them to pay themselves 300 million per individual, making the case of the CEO as an example, but when coming to the workers, they must talk the language of inflation and say that the workers are unreasonable. That is unjustified, and there is no way we can agree with that, because this is the development of an oligarch in our country, an oligarch that is controlling the economy in the interest of personal accumulation of wealth. Remember that it is the workers at Sibanye who are digging and drilling and blasting deep down in the hot belly of the earth, when the people who work in Santen in air-conditioned offices pay themselves 300 million rand and say that a mere 1,000 rand increase for the workers is unreasonable. We don't agree, and we agree with the workers.
Okay, finally, and very brief, if you may, Dr. Mashilo, we've explored this issue from the substance to the aesthetics of it, the Sibanye matter, and you've been very clear. It is Workers' Day, of course. That was the 1st of May yesterday, the public holiday falling on this Monday in the country and elsewhere in the world. What would you say, in your view, in summary, would be the urgent task facing workers today, against the background of rising unemployment, economic stagnation, and what we see to be austere measures by government, budget to budget? What would be the urgent tasks, in your view, of the workers today of South Africa in this tough world?
In one word, unity. It is only through unity that the working class will be able to enforce its momentary interests, deepen the struggle to achieve its immediate aims, and pave the way towards the greater goal of overthrowing the system of capitalist exploitation to build the non-exploitative socialist society. What we can see is that individuals from other classes represent their class interests of personal accumulation of wealth and oppress and exploit workers in the economy. It is only through the united power of the workers, regardless of trade union and federation affiliation, that the workers will be able to make more progress. And this will include addressing problems like unemployment and poverty.
Dr. Alex Mashilo, speaking on behalf of the South African Communist Party, in terms of reflections about what happened yesterday with the May Day rally, with the Sibanye Stillwater workers preventing that COSATU May Day rally from proceeding, and the President stepping in to try and help, and of course reflecting on the meaning of Workers' Day today for South African workers.